Hello, welcome back. Liverpool have been found out. Last night's defeat to Chelsea was their 8th of the season and their 5th home straight defeat in a row, where they've only scored 1 goal in that run. But it's been coming. Cash your minds back to last season, where the wheels started to come off a little bit with losses to Arsenal. Man City beat them easily. They were lucky to win against West Ham, and they only drawed against Burnley. And the start of this season was even worse. The first game of the season, they shipped 3 goals to newly promoted Leeds. They then lost 7-2 to Aston Villa. And before anyone says anything, those 2 games featured Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk. So yes, they're missing those 2 this season, but it's not been a big issue for them. They still conceded goals with that. They are defensively a liability, with teams attacking the right-hand side of Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is fantastic going forward, but you can't trust him one-on-one defensively. Getting turned up by Dwight McNeil easily. Against City, he was way too passive, letting Sterling walk past him hundreds of times. Foden made a mockery of him. He's just so easy to get past. He was looked after by Van Dijk and Gomez. You take them away from him. Defensively, he's really struggling. They need to find a way of covering him every time he plays. There was talks of him being a central midfield player when he was younger, so why isn't he yet? Because in the Premier League, he's clearly not defensively sound enough to be a fullback. Yes, he was good last year, but still defensively, he wasn't that great. Take him into another team that don't get forward as much and don't cross it as much. He's a bang average right back. Yes, he can pass fantastically. Yes, he can cross fantastically and score, but he's a fullback, a defender. Now, if you say to a central midfield player, yes, he can cross and score, fantastic, not an issue, but he's a defender. So if he wants to be a central midfielder, let him be a central midfielder. Don't play him at right back, because it's where teams are targeting and getting the best out of their defence. Since the start of this year, they've struggled at home, like I said, with 5 straight defeats. Burnley, Brighton, you can almost think they're bad games. City played them off the park. Last night to Chelsea, they were clueless going forward. There doesn't seem to be anything. It's happened before to Klopp at Dortmund, but he doesn't seem to have an answer this time. Klopp out was trending on Twitter last night. I don't know if Liverpool fans are deluded or bored or clueless because he's done so much for them. It is a blip, but they have been found out. They like to cross the ball in, go on the counter-attack. When you sit back against Liverpool, they don't know what to do. They can't pass through you because they're not a passing forward team. They like to play in the counter-attack, catch you out on high press. But if you're going to go long Burnley style, they don't know how to play against that. So they struggle to break Burnley down all game, and that's why they lost. Man City played them off the park. You pressed Liverpool high themselves, and with the 2 central defenders missing, they're going to struggle to pass it out from the back. They might recover and get top 4, but it's not looking likely, and it has been a difficult patch for Jurgen Klopp, obviously personal wise, and the team obviously suffering apparently with no fans being an issue, but it's disappointing for them. They say they may recover for top 4, but they're not going to win the title, and next season they need to look at where they're worrying and improve lots. The front 3 haven't scored recently at home, and that's a big issue. They aren't really creating chances. They signed Thiago, which in my opinion isn't Liverpool type of player. He's completely opposite to them. He slows things down, he passes sideways and backwards very well. He never really speeds the game up. He plays at his tempo, and that doesn't suit Liverpool at all. Fantastic player, don't get me wrong, but not Liverpool's type of player. They signed 2 centre-halves, don't choose to play them, which is a bit bizarre. Kazak is decent, not really good enough for Liverpool yet, and the other centre-half they've signed isn't a Premier League quality centre-half, so why sign him? Yes, they've lost the 2 centre-halves, and that's an issue, but they had experience there. Fabinho was this so-called brilliant player. He's not a centre-half. Henderson played there, he's not a centre-half. And they just don't have the depth in squad to match the likes of City, who missed a striker mainly all of this season, yet find a way to play without it. It's disappointing, and unfortunately Liverpool won't win the title this year, as City will go on to win it. But yeah, they're struggling. They've been found out on what next for Liverpool. Anyway, that is the end of the video. Have I been harsh? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Say yes, you're wrong, you're right, whatever. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will talk to you in a while.